Don't usually watch the news on TV. Usually the weather, that's it.
Why don't you watch the news?
I don't know. It's always bad stuff on the news. You know, it's never anything good. You know.
Just for clarification, we understand from the USGS, the center of the quake was in Westwood, California, 4.7 on the Richter scale.
Plenty of concern that the big one could be next.
Is this a sign of what so many people fear?
An 86% chance of a magnitude 7.0 or greater earthquake hitting California in the next 30 years.
The damage and the loss of life in the heart of Los Angeles could be catastrophic.
So if the big one happens, it's going to pop, literally pop Los Angeles up like a cork.
I think a lot of news and media outlets are focused on or headed by generally white men. They're all owned by white men, and so we're getting all of our information filtered through that sort of perspective.
I think that everybody's looking for ratings nowadays, and they're trying to see who's the better news station.
Sometimes, in the world of cable news, there's a mismatch between the demand for new information about a story and the supply of new information that exists. So what do you do in those circumstances? Well, you try to find creative ways of pushing out the supply. You have reporters, and you hope they dig up new nuggets of information you can report, or you offer context or some history, or for the mystery of Flight 70, that's the strategy we've tried to use here at All In. We've talked about other flights that have gone down. We've talked about the way that modern airplanes can be flown on autopilot, or how crash investigations work. But right now with this plane, none of that gets you to a point where you fill the demand. The demand is still there, begging for more. So the question is, as the host of a cable news program, then what do you do? And so certain outlets have decided to fill the rest of that void with stuff like this.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Could they be close to finally find a scrap of debris?
This looks like the debris field from an airplane crash. It may not be, but it has the signature look of it.
Perhaps it really wasn't the debris we thought it was.
Breaking news, a Thai satellite spots 300 objects.
Pieces of debris, whether they're from the plane or not, we simply don't know.
And the ocean is also filled with a lot of trash, and so it's hard to tell one thing from another.
Possible debris spotted. The search moves 700 miles northeast.
Could that be a piece of the missing plane?
Some objects floating in the water. No word yet on what those things are.
Anything that's been retrieved and looked at in one of these ships has turned out to be not connected to Flight 370.
Another day, no confirmed plane debris.
It's just another report giving them false hope that this mystery will finally be solved.
You covered this more than the marathon, which is the anniversary a week from now. You've covered this, I think, more than the Malaysian airline, more than any other story that I can remember.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I think you're probably right. But the audience interest is there,
So
and the ratings have shown it.
The ratings.
Well, it's not just the ratings, but we're giving part of what our mission is to give the audience what they want.
But Channel 8, or Good Morning America, they should say, has turned into more of like a soap opera with celebrities and music industry, and it seems like it's not really focusing on exactly what's going on in the world as much as it is with what's going on in the world when it comes to acting and actresses and so on and so forth.
And now, do you consider that type of, I guess, celebrity media, do you consider that news?
I do not, actually. I mean, personally, I don't really care much for the celebrity aspect.
As soon as you take the celebrity aspect away, it would be a story that no one would ever want to report on, and we're just reporting on a lot of them because they're famous. Now, I think like celebrity death or important things that celebrities have done are definitely news, but I think, you know, so-and-so got liposuction is hardly a newsworthy story.
I got a CNN breaking news alert when
Oh
you
my
got
God.
your haircut.
I know. That was seriously the weirdest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life.
It has to be. This kind of scrutiny.
Can you imagine getting your hair cut and then finding out about it on the news? That was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me.
Do not use mystery and its presence as an excuse to further whatever boogeyman you choose to make your audience scared of. That is the grown-up versions of monsters underneath the bed. And our job is not to fill the air by telling bedtime stories.